Clint Eastwood kicked off Jimmy Kimmel's show sounds like a headline from a parallel universe. But what really happened shook the audience and left producers scrambling. This was more than just a bad joke or an awkward moment. This was a slow burn of tension between two powerful personalities, and it finally exploded under the bright lights of late-night television. Let's walk through what happened behind the scenes in front of the cameras and why Clint Eastwood walked out and never looked back. It all started weeks before the clash during one of Jimmy Kimmel's monologues where he jokingly called Clint Eastwood Hollywood's last remaining cowboy who forgot he's not in the Wild West anymore. It was meant as a light jab, just part of Jimmy's usual style, but fans noticed Clint didn't laugh in the audience that night. He just stared quietly, arms crossed, face like stone. Some say it was nothing, others believe that moment planted a seed. A few days later, Clint was announced as a special guest on the show. To promote a new project, everyone expected a simple interview, but it was anything but. Clint arrived at the studio early, no entourage, no loud entrance, just that classic quiet presence. Crew members said he barely spoke to anyone except his assistant and seemed focused, serious. Jimmy's team had a few playful jokes lined up as part of the segment, but word backstage was that Clint requested no jokes about his age, his past movies, or politics. Jimmy, being Jimmy, thought he could walk the line anyway, and things went south fast. The cameras rolled, the crowd cheered. Clint walked out to a standing ovation. He shook Jimmy's hand and sat down. For a moment, everything seemed fine, but then Jimmy made a comment that flipped the mood instantly. He said, "Clint, you've been around since black and white TV was still new. What's it like watching your own films in a museum?" The audience laughed, but Clint didn't even blink. He leaned forward, looked at Jimmy, and said, "Do you invite guests to mock them, or do you just forget how to show respect?" You could hear a pin drop. Jimmy chuckled awkwardly and said, "Come on, Clint, we joke with everyone, even the president." Clint replied, "The difference is the president doesn't mind being laughed at, I do." Jimmy tried to steer the conversation back to Clint's new film, but Clint wasn't having it. He said, "If you're not going to talk about my work, I can leave," and that's when things got uncomfortable. Jimmy responded with, "Well, if you can't take a joke, maybe late night isn't your thing anymore." Clint slowly stood up, adjusted his jacket, and said, "Maybe real men don't need late night." The audience gasped, some even clapped, others sat frozen. Jimmy looked off camera, possibly at his producers, and muttered, "We're gonna take a quick break." But Clint was already walking off stage. No smile, no handshake, no words. According to people on set, Clint left the building minutes later, didn't stay for green room snacks, didn't wait for drivers. He walked out, got in